Hi, welcome back to ODE YouTube channel. Today I'm here to show you the pens that I received last month, so February. This is the video of pens from February 2022. I got 5 pens and those are the ones that I'm going to show you, and I hope you enjoy this video that I usually like to make because I think it may be interesting. So let's see what I have. So this is not in particular order, but I'm going to show you the pens. The first one that I want to show you is this pen. This is the Platinum 3776 Gathered. This pen is, I would say, a little bit uncommon because it is a Platinum 3776, but it is very, very different from what we are used to with the Pilot 3776 Century. It is a different pen, it has a different shape, it has these kind of rings or ridges, then it has these two metal rings. It reminds us of a vintage Waterman pen. And there is a major difference between this pen and the regular Platinum 3776, which is the cap is a click-on-place cap, like this. So the seal mechanism is not as good as when you have the threaded cap. This is not the most amazing pen ever in terms of beauty, but it is a pen that I was really interested. And I was interested in this one because I found, once I got this pen, the Platinum Glamour, that this pen was inspired by the first version of the Platinum 3776, and this is a modern reincarnation of the first Platinum 3776 ever made. Now it is also discontinued, but the first version, which was very similar, just the number of grooves were different, they released this one and then they decided to make a shorter and fatter version of it. So it is a very fun pen that reminds us of a cartoon pen, but when you look at them, they have the same elements, the same things, but it is like a drawing, a funny drawing of the other one, of the full-size one. This pen, to me, because it then developed into the 3776 Century, which is around in many colors, to me, this pen is, because of that, it is from the same family, although this one is like the grandfather. It's in the same family as the Sailor 1911 large with this beautiful nib, but it has the same shape as the Platinum 3776, so I think I may need to get the Platinum 3776 in black just to give some consistency to my collection. And then we have the Pilot costume, sorry, I forgot the number, 743, which is really the cartridge converter version of the Pilot costume 823, but otherwise it is the same pen, so it is a very interesting pen. These are also all cartridge converter pens, so it is kind of fun. I think I would need here the Platinum Century, but Platinum Century is a little smaller than this Sailor, and this pen is also bigger, but so there are some differences in these families, but I think these all make sense together and they are fun as they are. So this is how I compare them, but this is not really comparable with any other pen that I have except with this one, and it is so fun to have both. The next pen I want to show you is a pen that I bought in a real store here in Lisbon, so I'm happy with that and not having just pens ordered online. This is the new Parker Vector XL. So it is a new model for the Vector. It is very different from what we were used to. The arrow clip, it has this nib, which is very generic, and it is metal body and cap. It is a cartridge converter pen, and the section is plastic. So it is kind of interesting, and it is more interesting when we compare this pen with the previous version of the Vector. When you look at them, you may see there are maybe some similarities in overall design, but I would say there are not that many. I would say this pen, the Vector, tried to be a very cheap inspiration on the Parker Duofold, because it had this end part, so it reminds us of the blind cap of a Parker Duofold. This was used to allow the pen to post easily and flush with the rest of the barrel. It had a metal section, so now they inverted all that. So now when you post the pen, and it posts well, the cap, as you see, has a little step down to the barrel. It's very small, but it has. And it didn't have on the older one. The clip is different, but okay. It's something that may make some sense. The end part is different. This one has the logo, so it makes sense also. But it's interesting because they changed the design, exchanging the metal parts for plastic parts, or the metal parts for plastic parts and the plastic parts for metal parts. And the nib, they went for a totally different kind of nib, which was this older one, the typical nib of the Vector, also the same nib as you would find on the Jotter. So I went into my collection and I have this one. This is a pen that I used quite a lot many years ago. I don't love the Vector, but I think this pen is interesting. When I look at this pen, it has some ink dried there all over, because I'm not that careful with stuff. And so I think this pen may have some ink residues since the end of 1990s, beginning of the 2000s. But this one had a difference, which was it was a matte black finish, and it is metal. So metal, metal, and metal. This part is plastic, but it was the same thing as... Now when that I post it, I noticed that in this one the cap is a little larger than the rest of the barrel, so it's interesting, but not here. So this one had some difference, this one doesn't. Fun, I never noticed that. So it is interesting to see these little difference. Another pen that I have to bring here to the table is the Parker Frontier, which is one of my favorite pens ever. This version is not available worldwide, I would say. This is a version made by Luxor in India, but because they make Parker pens, so it is an authorized pen, but it is made by Luxor in India, and it has some differences from the other Parker Frontier, but we'll not spend time now here. I will show them in a future video. But this one also reminds me a little bit, because it also has a matte finish metal barrel. It has a plastic section, not transparent though, and it has an open nib. So I would say this is maybe the most similar in characteristics, but not in this flat top shape. I would say that in design there are too many changes from the older Vector to bring to the Vector XL. I think that this end part and the posting the cap flush to the barrel, it is a major characteristic of this pen that is no longer present on the new version. So, given that information, I have also to say that this pen writes really well. So I'm not saying the pen is not good. I'm not sure if I was the one that was going to give the name to the pen. I'm not sure if I would call it Parker Vector XL, but it is a good pen. So not any... It's really good. It writes well. So I'm quite impressed with it. The next pen is the Kaweco Sport, or the Kaweco Collection Iridescent Pearl. This pen is impossible to show with my lighting setup. Let me just do something here just to try. If I have only one light, maybe in my left side, my right side, maybe it is easier to see this pearlescent effect. It is a new Kaweco collection. Kaweco collection is these special editions that are available for a period of time. So this has a very different material from everything else, with this pearlized material, iridescent, but otherwise it is a Kaweco Skyline Sport because it has silver trim. It is a very interesting pen. I have the review of this one already made, so you can check it. If I had to compare this pen with some other, I would compare it with the Kaweco Frosted Sport. I know that when you look at them in this lighting, they seem similar, but they are really not that similar, because the finish on this one is really different, and it's not just the coating, it's the real material. I also brought here the Kaweco Art Sport Alabaster, which is a very hard to find pen. This is not the plastic, it's not the, I forget the name, it's not molded plastic, it is really a rod of resin or plastic that is machined into a pen. These are very hard to find today. And I also have here a Kaweco Skyline Sport White. This one has a very solid white color, as you can see in comparison. So it is quite different, but I thought it would be interesting to bring to the table just to show some similarities or differences, as you prefer. The next pen I'm showing you is the Kaweco Collection Lilliput Green, and this is a Kaweco Collection pen, but you can see there Kaweco Collection. It's not called Kaweco Lilliput, but the model is a Kaweco Lilliput, and this one is green, made of aluminium, so it's a very light pen. It's a cartridge pen. It has the regular number 5 Kaweco nib. You may try to write with it like this, not easy, but if you want to just put down some short notes, you can use it. Yes, it's possible to use. Is it comfortable? No, it's not, so we will not use it for a long time, but if you just want to write something quickly, this is the way to go. If you want to write a little bit longer, you should post it to get the pen into a normal size. This pen is really nice, the color is amazing, and this way you can write for longer time, and it will all depend on the thickness you like on the section of your pens, because if you like this kind of thickness, when posted it is long enough. For comparison, I have here the Kaweco Lilliput Silver, which is not silver, it's just aluminium, but not colored aluminium, and when you look at them like this, you'll see one says Kaweco Collection, the other one says Kaweco Lilliput. This is the model, the exact same model. You can exchange parts, but with a different color, and I think this color is really nice. When I try to compare this color, I bring to the table the Kaweco AC Sport, which is a very stylish pen with some carbon fiber inserts and black nib. I would bring this pen here and I would put it here, and you can see there are some differences on the shade of green. I have also to say that this is a glossy pen, this one is a matte pen, so it makes the greens more different than they would really be. And then I just brought here the Kaweco Supra in steel, and you can see it's a much bigger pen, especially when you are thinking about these middle section that is optional to put. When you put it, it is a full-size pen. When you take it, it becomes a short pocket pen, but this one has the nice number 6 nib. So I just brought this one for comparison. This one also can take a clip. I would not put a clip here because the clips for Lilliput are available in this color, in this bronze color, and really I would be afraid that it would scratch the green of the pen. And so we have 4 pens here. Let's go to the last one. The last one is interesting. It is the Ensso Italia in copper. It is Ensso and it is called Italia, but it is an American pen. I've been using it and you can notice it. I just got it last month and look how it is. If you go back to my video, to my unboxing video, you'll see a very, very, very shiny pen. It is all covered with patina. This is an interesting pen. It has a Bock number 6 Bock nib. It is a very good writer, maybe now a little bit wetter, and I think I need to maybe to just fix it a little bit, to put it a little drier. I'm waiting for this cartridge to this converter to run out. It's only written there Ensso, and it was even shinier than this part is, and it is completely tarnished, and I think that is fun. I have to show you next to this pen the other Ensso pen that I have, and the other Ensso pen that I have is a pocket pen or a mini pen, which is the Ensso Minimalist in copper. So it is an interesting pen. This one has also a Bock nib, but it is a number 5. So with nibs, they are really comparable with the Lilliput, with number 5 Bock nib, but this nib is branded Kaweco, and this is a number 6, which is the same nib as the Supra, but the Supra nib is branded Kaweco also. So this pen just posts and caps relying on those rubber O-ring. So it is a very interesting pen, very small, and it is a fun one. It is copper. I love copper, so I got this too. When I look to the Ensso Italia with all these little details, the Greek key and the overall shape, it is a cartridge converter pen, as I showed you, so this part has nothing. It's just reminiscent of an old piston filler, but it's not really a piston filler. Let me just be sure it is all tight. This pen will be very, very similar in design, and we can see why there is the inspiration of Italia. This is an Omas Milord, and Omas Milord is this pen. This one has the little wheel on the clip, this one doesn't. But there was a Omas also with this kind of shape of clip, but with a wheel there. Both have the Greek key design between two kind of rings. They have this similar part there because this one is a piston filler, this one is not. And then this one has a Greek key there, this one doesn't, but it has next to the nib. So really small differences, but you can see where the design, even this kind of shape that is tapered to the both ends, so it makes sense to call it that, call it Italia. And then I have here my replica of a Parker Senior Duofold in copper by Chris Thompson. This pen is amazing. It was in store for some time, and maybe I didn't store it when it was completely dry, so it has lots of stains there on this finish now, which is kind of strange. I think if I would start to use it, they would rub out and it will be okay again. If it isn't, I can always polish it again, it becomes like brand new, and I'm able to write to let it have some patina again. The patina on this pen is very interesting. It's like the fire blue on some pens. This one has a Parker dual nib. It is really an interesting pen, but these kind of spots of oxidation with a different darker tone, I think I will try to clean them, because I don't find it as attractive as the very smooth kind of patina it has in the rest of the pen. So I brought this one here. These are all quite heavy pens. This is also heavy, but it's very small, so not that heavy in total. This one is a heavy pen. This one is also a very heavy pen. I think this is the heaviest pen, not the biggest, but heaviest. It is a pen that you will not post easily. It will post, but it becomes a very big monster. So it's not really usable like that. Let me just put it here for you to see. It's not really usable posted. Stand there. Let me put the nib up to be nicer. Okay. If you have this one, yes, you need to post this one. There is no chance. It is very small, like the Lilliput. You can only have it and post it for short notes. But this one, it is very, very well made, and you can see the length of the pen. And now let's just post it and look how far it posts. It posts very deep, and it is heavier, but it keeps the balance. So it's very, very well made, because the cap falls really in this hole of the hand there. So it's really well made. When you compare it, it is still a shorter pen when posted. So this is kind of interesting. This is the Parker Senior Dual Fold replica, and this is the Ensso Italia posted, and you can see it's just a little bit longer. So this is, I don't really like to post most of my pens, but I like to see pens that are really made to be posted. I think this one is one of those. You can use it and post it because it's big enough. But if you want, you can post it and it will still be very comfortable to hold despite being heavy. So these 5 pens were the pens from February 2022. I'm expecting really interesting stuff, at least to me, to arrive at 3 interesting pens to arrive during this month of March, but we'll have to wait. One of those tried to be delivered, the postman tried to deliver it, but I was working in my workplace, not remotely, so I wasn't here to get it. I will need to go next Monday to get it from the post office, and I will show you the unboxing, of course. So these were my 5 pens from February. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please keep coming to my channel, subscribe, like, share, all that, and I hope to meet you here soon again. So this is all. Bye.